It's time for Cats Talk Wednesday. Small town and big city joined forces. Vinny Hardy of Lynch, Kentucky, and Terry Brown of Louisville, Kentucky, team up to give you free-flowing, laid-back sports talk. Focus on Kentucky Wildcats, as well as pertinent information in the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball.
We are back. A week off. TB and Vinny Cats Talk Wednesday, BS3 Network. TB, man, up in all that red, but and it ain't Niners red either. What we doing today, man? Oh,
for fever, gotta support the brunette from West Des Moines, Iowa. So, my first WNBA jersey, my first female jersey, and it's for the female athlete of 2024. So, Happy New Year, everybody! Happy New Year.
So y'all gonna go catch the fever when they come to Minneapolis, or is that?
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna look because we want to see them in Minneapolis and in Vegas. You know, it's always easy to get to Vegas. That's why, teams moving there like the Raiders. Vegas is easy to get to from just about everywhere in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no diehard fans, so a lot of fans are just turning Vegas. We'll go see our team against the Raiders. So we hope to see in Minneapolis, in Las Vegas, and going to try to catch a couple of games in Indiana.
Mm-hmm. Heart goes out to Oakland because every team they had is now almost in Vegas. So yeah, the Warriors go to San Fran, Raiders go to Vegas. A's are going to Vegas eventually via Sacramento, right?
Yes.
So the whole, and speaking of Oakland, we didn't have a show last week, but all the great players that come from there. When we were coming up, Jay Kidd, Gary Payton, Damian Lillard. Just athletes on athletes on athletes. Ricky Henderson passed away from Oakland. Spent time with the A's, among other teams. Won a World Series with them. Greatest leadoff hitter ever. Greatest base stealer ever. Greatest players ever. Can't get more Oakland than Ricky. And just sad to see that he had passed away at 65. He had the clips of him on MLB Network. Harold Reynolds said that the year he won the stolen base title, Ricky was hurt, and Harold led the American League with like 60 or 61 steals. He said after the season's over, he gets a call from Ricky Henderson. Like, hey, Henderson here. He said 60 stolen bases. He said Ricky would have had that by the All-Star break.
Yeah, Ricky, he was one of one, and just all these stats that come out. He had 2 or 3 games where he was over, as far as hits, but he had scored 5 runs. Like, how do you even do that, right? And it's just amazing how the game has changed. They're trying to bring some of the steals back, but that's Ricky, just one person manufacturing runs.
Mm-hmm.
That is, whatever you think of him, Ricky, one of one.
And just love the game. He's our age and playing in the independent league with the San Diego Surf Dogs, and wasn't even big time in the guys. Just one of the guys, not egotistical. Just I'm still I'm a Hall of Famer. I'm here. I'm on the bus with y'all. Guy. Oh, just playing because he loved to play. Oh, breaks Lou Brock's record. Stole 100 however many it was that year with the Yankees. Just ridiculous. The swag, they trying to have a little fun now, but he was popping his collar, the home run trot, the stance, everything. Yeah. Oh man.
Ricky made baseball cool, and that's kind of what we're missing, if we're being honest, when we look at why different ratings are going down. It's not as fun to watch.
So we just end up talking about Oakland. That was a sad segue, but we could not give a little love to Ricky because we wasn't on last week, so I had to kind of backtrack on that one. And
Yeah.
Greg Gumbel too, man, the voice of March Madness, and did everything. He was on Sports Center when we were toddlers. I mean,
yes, yeah.
Ooh.
It's one of those things. What a great family, the Gumbels. Look at both of them, right? Like that's crazy. But yeah, Greg Gumbel, just always had in my mind. That's why I tweeted out about him. Like, let's look at the West region. The first round games will be playing Thursday into Saturday.
Yeah,
we're gonna start with the number 1 overall seed. Like, just he brought gravitas to all those shenanigans.
Yeah, because they start bringing Barkley in there. Clark Kellogg did his thing. Wally Zerbiak's in there. Greg Anthony's in there. Just all the and he was the constant. He was the constant, man. Every March Madness.
And calling games as a play-by-play guy and just a consummate professional, man. That's sad news.
Yeah. And from New Orleans, him and Bryant both. So gonna segue to the Sugar Bowl that had to be postponed today, and because of the ridiculousness that happened at the beginning of this morning, man. So
that's crazy. That's nothing you want to wake up to, and it's. I've run out of words for this kind of stuff. Just run out. So sending prayers and thoughts to everybody down there in New Orleans. It was the right call to postpone the game.
Yep.
And
we talked about your Fever shirt. So I said it's not Niner red, and then you said it's, you pulled it up, showed the Fever. The shirt underneath the shirt, is that the faithful to the Bay gear? What we got going on the second layer? Because I mean, I can't even do it. But you look at you, man. We know your repertoire. We know your closet is full.
Yeah, I got my Ohio State. Look, they heard us talking about them, and this is how you respond, man. All that stuff about planting the flag, and everybody and their brother called the Buckeyes soft, right? Among other things.
Yeah.
You worry about a flag, win the game. And all they have done thus far, 1.5 games into their playoff run, and they've just blown the doors off these folks. And that's what makes that, if I'm an Ohio State fan, no matter what happens, like, why can't we do this to Michigan? Stop trying to run at Michigan. You got these all-world receivers. Throw that thing around, man. Like, don't overthink this.
Yeah.
Like, don't make this more complicated than it has to be. But yeah, Ohio State, they fighting back, man.
And I mean, let's see. A week ago, Saturday, it was a great day to be a Buckeye because look, they come out and beat Kentucky by 20 in basketball, even though their fan base wasn't really worried about Madison Square Garden. They took it to us in basketball by 20. Then later that night, in their playoff debut at home, they whooped Tennessee by 25 in football. So I'll just tell everybody down here, I'm like, look, man, it was just a Buckeyes day. I said, they whooped y'all. I said, but they whooped us a couple hours before y'all. I mean, so
yeah,
it was a great day to be for them. I mean, that was a great Saturday for them.
Yeah, so I was glad they beat Tennessee like that.
Yes,
'cause I don't like Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming to that, not coming around to that. I don't like Tennessee.
Yeah. And
just anything.
Mm-hmm.
So all that stuff, Neyland North and blue to blue to blue, blah to blah to blah. We took over your spot. All that, warming up with their shirts off and all that looks good, but hey,
boat race. I mean, it was over immediately.
Yeah, it wasn't close. Not, I don't know what Oregon's going to do to make it a game or whatever, but Ohio State's firing, man. They have looked the best out of all the teams. Texas escaped today. Penn, it's just so funny that Penn State and Ohio State, the two teams that people had no faith in going in,
are winning
comfortably.
I thought SMU was going to go in there and pull an upset, I wouldn't have been surprised at all. I said, that boys from Texas can go up there and just punk them in their own house. And, I was wrong. And then I was thinking, I was like, Genty going to get them last night. I was wrong again, man. I was wrong again.
Absolutely. And shout out to the Penn State volleyball team for beating Louisville for the volleyball championship.
In Louisville, in the Yum Center. In the Yum.
That's a tough look. That's a tough look. But again, I'm not going to root for Louisville in anything either.
And that was a goal. When they knew that they was getting the Final Four, and they've been good in volleyball for a while, just like the Niners have hosted the Super Bowl in Levi's, the AT&T Stadium, the Cowboys hosted a Super Bowl. Tampa Bay finally got to play a Super Bowl in their own stadium a few years ago when they beat the Chiefs. That's part of your motivation. Hey, we can get the Final Four in our own house. And then Penn State and their coach, fighting breast cancer. In the process, just, shout out, and Pitt got knocked out, who knocked us out. And I'm like, but Penn State jumped in there and took care of them cards, man.
Yeah. But I'm never going to root for Louisville, not going to root for Tennessee. And I got another team I'm adding to my list, the Detroit Lions.
What's up? Because of Monday?
Oh, we're getting our revenge back. We're getting our lick back. No. I just whatever. But I'm against Detroit. Now they want to talk slick. I've spent most of my adult life and childhood life not worrying a damn about the Detroit Lions winning anything. Now, all of a sudden, they're still, if you look at that graphic, depending on what happens on this Sunday, when it's like the last time each team won their division, there still starts with a 19.
That's right.
It's 1990 something. The last, come on, man. Like, no, I'm not mad about Monday. I mean, some of the creativity the 49ers had, I'm like, where has this been? On offense. Ricky Pearsall played well. My man Kittle, he's doing well. Hey, but I don't know. I'm tired of Detroit. I'm tired of Honolulu Blue. Does that make me a hater? Probably. But there's only one franchise in the NFL that had two all-time greats quit rather than keep playing with them.
That's true. That is true.
So it ain't me saying it. It's Calvin Johnson and Barry saying, I'm through with you've taken my love of the sport. Don't trade me where I'm just through with this.
That's true.
So they're a good story. No, they're not. Their defense isn't very good. Dan Campbell is going to do some crazy things on fourth down and cost them games. Ask me how I know. It's because they had a 17-point lead in the NFC Championship game last year and did not go to the Super Bowl.
It's 24-7, man. 24-7, and that's
so good for them. I know. Maybe I'm a hater, but I'm like
a little bit.
But you're not getting your lick back because we went to the Super Bowl. You didn't. And so now the whole offseason is: are you going to pay Purdy? You got to pay him. You got to pay him whatever the market is because everybody's throwing out all these comps and all this kind of stuff, and it's like, because look, this is how dumb the Brock Purdy discourse is. Colin Cowherd said that he would pay Jordan Love because he feels that you can reach a Super Bowl with Jordan Love. But then in the next breath, he's like, you don't pay Purdy because that's crazy to pay Purdy. And my thing is like, you hypothetically think that Jordan Love can get the Packers to the Super Bowl. I know Brock Purdy can get the 49ers to a Super Bowl because I have seen it.
Yeah.
The best thing about that comeback last year, I watched a supercut. It was a lot of scrambling from Purdy. It was a lot of throws, not to the Avengers, because that's always the knock, right? He's got all this dudes and that dude. He was making passes to Jennings, so wide receiver 3, in a big third down conversion went to a dude Conley, and I'm like, I got to Google. I don't know who this dude is. But Purdy made those plays. Like, you can hypothetically talk about all this and this. No shade, but you can be like, I think Dak can do it. I think Trevor Lawrence can do it. I think.
Yeah.
And the resume is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
As a starter, NFC Championship game, and then Super Bowl. That's up there with what Joe Burrow has done. Don't give me.
I hope they get knocked out. I was pulling for Denver. I got to pull for Pittsburgh. I don't want to see them make it just because we're from Kentucky and everybody love the Bengals. I'm being a hater about the Bengals. I like them at LSU, but I don't want to see the Bengals get in there, man. I just don't.
So Joe Burrow is fantastic, right?
Yes.
He is fantastic to watch. But the debate I have with folks is when we start talking about quarterbacks, Heisman quarterbacks in college, the best seasons ever. And I'm like, the context has to be, we see what Justin Jefferson was and is. We see what Chase was and is. Your job gets infinitely easier when you have 2 all-pro wide receivers in college, right? Tip my hat, great season. My thing is, like, again, best quarterback season I've ever seen collegiately is Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Because none of those dudes, I think Fairley was the only guy that got drafted on the defensive side.
Yeah.
And, like, you look at his receivers and running backs, I'm like, those people went pro in something else. That man, in the heart of Nick Saban's run at Alabama, right? They was down 21-0.
Down big at Alabama
in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
And with these dudes, and that's when Cam was like, "All right, buddies, I got you." And you can't name anybody on that Auburn team.
In the Iron Bowl,
like,
man.
You can't name anybody, right? So of course he gets my tip. Look, that's to me. And so my old thing is, I ain't gonna rant like I did last time that y'all cut up and put out there about Joe, but it's Cincinnati, man. Ever since Super Bowl 23, I ain't with it, man. Well, the Chiefs better watch out. The Chiefs ain't thinking about y'all. Yes. You beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead in that one NFC Championship game. Too bad that got surrounded and sandwiched by 2 more championships for Mahomes. Mahomes is 6 years in, 5 years in, 6 years in, and he's now doing that thing where it don't even matter about the MVPs.
Yeah.
You're not fooling me with your poor numbers, Patrick Mahomes. Bring me the Mahomes body in the postseason.
Yo.
And I bet you can't.
And,
I bet you can't. The MVP should be Lamar. 1, because the numbers are there. 2, Josh Allen. If your main pushing point is Lamar's already got 2, that's not how this works. That's not how this works, right?
You're fatigued.
Yeah, and even when you think that happens in the NBA, like I saw somebody's like, "Oh, this would be like Barkley." I think Ryan Clark on ESPN was like, "This would be like Barkley in '93." Barkley had a really good season. The Suns had the better record in '93.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best Charles Barkley we got. Was that 93 season.
Mm-hmm.
That was deserved. Now, maybe, was it 97, 98 that the mailman won? And Jordan put a wrap on that in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that one, but it doesn't happen too often. I've also opined, I think they need to change the NFL MVP.
Mm.
Quarterbacks need to have their separate award, just like the Cy Young for pitchers.
Mm.
Because you've got Barkley, who's in shouting distance of this 40-year-old record,
and
his name doesn't even come up in the MVP.
No.
And we've seen guys with 28 sacks, or whatever, nothing. 22 touchdowns for Jerry, 23 for Randy Moss that year, nothing. You got to go back to LT in 86 for the last defensive MVP.
Damn.
And I'm pretty sure, I'd have to look it up, I think the last running back MVP might have been, I want to say LaDainian Tomlinson, because he had like 31 touchdowns or something like that. Yes, quarterback, very, very important, but it's not right. It's so exclusionary at this point, where even college, who's been on because for a while there, if you were just the starting quarterback on a 10-win team, you had a shot. And we've seen a lot of those guys, the Chris Winkies and the Gino Torettas and the, we can go through all those quarterbacks. But even here lately with the Heisman, this year it's a running back and a wide receiver, defensive back. That was the debate. A couple of years ago, Devontae Smith wins it in Alabama. So, but it's like whatever quarterbacks having these monster numbers, that's who gets it. So,
34-15 Ohio State.
Uh-oh.
Old Uncle Mo trying to go to the other sideline. Let's see. I'm trying to. Oregon's fired. I don't know. I'm just wondering if the duck is trying to climb out that pot. That's all I'm saying.
Well, they might.
Maybe.
They might. But Cats looked better against Brown.
And I'll say this about Ohio State. It, hated to lose, especially, losing to Aaron Bradshaw and Joel Justice. That was an extra salt in the too.
Yeah. Look, the Cats, I think we've kind of figured out the Cats have got to be better on defense, especially at the pick and roll. That's got to be a point of emphasis. But also is we need to go get a bucket guy.
Yeah.
And I know what everybody knows what the postseason record has been the last 4 or 5 years, but we've always had, can you go get me a bucket? And so I think that may be the ceiling on this team. I still think this team is a second weekend team. I still believe that, but when we start SEC play on Saturday, it's going to be tough.
Can the system survive the explosive athleticism that we're going to see? That's it. And what's the ceiling on? Because this team, right? The sum is greater than the collection of the parts. Whatever the sum of the team is greater than all of them. Whatever. I'm messing up that phrase, but because all of them together as a whole are greater than the sum of their parts. But can it hold up? When you're going up against Amari Williams, going to see dudes just as big and strong and athletic and can jump higher than him and all of this, and we're getting out rebounded by Brown, like that. So can the system survive? And they might be like Ohio State. They might prove us wrong once conference play starts, when we just be like, oh, this precision offense can withstand teams trying to just punch them in the face. We'll see. But I think it's everybody's little worry, this little faint worry right now.
Well, and keep in mind, last year, offense wasn't the problem last year. It was the defense. We couldn't stop anybody.
Yeah.
you know, I think about those 2 Texas A&M games. Like, what are we doing? You know, like, deep on the defensive end of things. So, but we'll see. You know, I'm still encouraged. I still think they're a second weekend in the tournament team. But we'll see what happens.
That'll mean Pope will have his first 2 NCAA tournament wins of his career, and yeah. So yeah, Auburn, Tennessee, all these teams, all these dudes. How much beating are we gonna do, and how many punches are we gonna take? The car, the physicality, let's say the rim protection. I seen you tweet that before. Those things, Ohio State did whatever they wanted, man. They were just penetrating and dishing and just slicing and dicing. And
that's the thing is, for all of the numbers and your metrics and shot charts and everything like that, can you guard somebody? Is the thing. And that to me was the biggest thing that Cal did when he was at his best, is those teams played defense.
Yeah.
Which admittedly it's easy to do when you got Anthony Davis, Nerlens Noel on the back end, right?
Really,
but when you got those guys, I get that. But that's the thing, is we don't have that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we haven't had that. That's probably the biggest issue, is we have not had that 5 on the backside. I mean, maybe Bam, you have to go back, but Bam wasn't really a rim protector. Very good defender, but you got to go back a little bit.
Yeah. It's been a
while. So that's my thing. They gotta hone it down a little bit on the defensive side.
And we're gonna see real early Saturday, because the tip off is at 11. So is this be the earliest that you've been cleaning for a game ever?
Oh, that's right. It is an early game. It's 11 Eastern, right?
10 your time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get out. Yeah, I'm gonna get out there. Start the clean beat. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This 2:00 deal yesterday was we thought that was early. That was 1:00 your time yesterday for Brown.
Yeah.
But, people off or could leave work early, whatever. But that's Saturday morning, man. The cartoons ain't even going off.
I know it's gonna be wild, but I think we've got to see the team come out with focus in the first half.
Yeah.
That's got to be the number one thing, is they got to start right. I think it hurts a little bit not having Kerr out there. So now Butler's kind of got to play a lot more. Perry gave some good quality minutes. I think we'll start to see the bench shorten up a little bit as we move forward. I think Trent Noah got to get out there a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Trent and Almador, like, those dudes will bang,
right?
And sometimes that's what you need. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, we will see. So rise and shine Saturday against the Gators.
That's right. Get your mimosa, whatever, coffee, get your little something, and we'll go from there.
Conference play, here we come. So, man, glad we got on here and caught up. Had a week off last week, so we'll be back doing our thing. Got a big time guest, friend of the show, coming back next week, hopefully. So looking forward to that. And we both just be on the outside looking in on these NFL playoffs. So that is what that is.
As I showed you, the last 20 years, it's or 22 years, the Niners either miss the playoffs or they go at least to the NFC Championship game.
That's wild. That is wild. No in between. That's wild.
It ain't. We just gonna win a game or two. It's. Yeah, I talking about that. I know we're on the same drought as you all are with the Super Bowl, But man, there's just been so many near misses that if we didn't have the 5, it would make this. We'd be one of those sad, cursed franchises. But nobody gonna feel sorry for us. You know, I get that. But I'm like, you look at was it 2011 NFC title game against the Giants that Kyle Williams fumbled 2 punts.
Yeah.
And the Beyonce Super Bowl, and I was getting ready to take some snaps in the NFC Championship game a couple years ago against Philadelphia. It's like, man, and that's what, because look, I think I might have said, after that Super Bowl loss, this past season, I didn't think it was going to be quite like this, but I watched how those dudes came off the field and being that close, giving up a touchdown with 10 seconds left in overtime. So you played your hour plus 15 more minutes. Like, I just, and the whole thing, the Super Bowl loser, there's that streak where they only make it back to the playoffs. But what I saw was just different.
Yeah.
I mean, because they had Mahomes for about 80% of that game. But that ain't it. Anyway, we be all right.
Yeah.
Now I can hate from outside the club.
I understand. Hey, I'm with
there
you.
We go.
I'm doing it too.
I'm going to pretend like I'm Tennessee at the men's Final Four. I hate from outside the club.
That's it. Yeah. They are very good at that. So man, we enjoyed this. We'll be back next week. Everybody have a fun weekend. Still got time off. Enjoy that as well. Stay warm, stay safe. Another episode of Cats Talk Wednesday for TV. This is Vinny. We'll holler at y'all next Wednesday. Go Cats, beat those Gators.